Pioneers of the Future. Extraordinary Risk Governance of AI, Medicine, Space, and Beyond. A publication of the DCRO Institute. In areas where new technologies and challenging missions are involved, demands for risk governance are significantly increased. Achieving a balance between embracing risk to achieve corporate purpose and renewal, and protecting assets by being resilient to unexpected events, is often a delicate balance for directors. The DCRO Institute's motto, innovate, sustain, create value, is derived from this mindset called the positive governance of risk-taking. Despite the increased need, however, risk governance in frontier areas often emerges alongside the technologies and innovations it is meant to govern. With so much in motion across many frontiers, directors in these critical and fast-moving areas often learn in real time or look to outside sources for guidance. We asked 4 directors from the DCRO Institute community how they are approaching risk governance in their pioneering work. AI at the forefront of medical research. Alexander Lazar, MD/PhD, is a qualified risk director and professor of pathology and genomic medicine at the University of Texas, MD Anderson Cancer Center in Houston. He's leveraging artificial intelligence, AI, at the forefront of medical research. An expert in surgical pathology and translational researcher in cancer genomics, immunotherapy, and the microbiome, Dr. Lazar has spent his career researching, teaching, and consulting across the fast-changing biomedical landscape. Today, he works with biotech, pharma, and data science companies, from garage startups to the world's largest companies, as a scientific thought leader and risk governance strategist. His work is widely disseminated and respected, from peer-reviewed manuscripts and book chapters to pharmaceuticals and medical devices. His influence and expertise are widely felt. Currently, he sits on the board of the American Joint Cancer Commission, AJCC, and the WHO Standing Editorial Board for Tumor Classification, as well as other non-profit boards outside of the medical arena. He helped lead the state of Texas's response to the COVID pandemic and served as the Director of Biosecurity for the inauguration of President Joe Biden. Within the medical research community, Dr. Lazar sees AI as a tool to help medical providers perform their jobs better. AI is a powerful tool for prediction, yet predictions require a values-based judgment from a human clinician. Doctors must decide what to do with the AI-generated prediction, how to treat the patient, and the best path forward. In this role, AI becomes a strong co-clinician or collaboration tool due to its ability to analyze massive amounts of data and recognize patterns. AI is also helpful in making more efficient or even eliminating repetitive daily tasks, a similar story for knowledge workers across various industries. Writing, researching, ideating, gathering information, sparking creativity. By aiding in these tasks, AI can help generate positive outcomes and allow humans more creative space to think deeply and solve problems. AI becomes an additive, a tool, not a job replacement. It allows us more time to focus on what the human brain does best. But you can never take AI-generated content at face value or assume it's correct, Dr. Lazar notes. That's a bad idea right now, especially within medicine. We need to stay focused on the promise of AI and the opportunities it offers. Yes, it can go wrong, but if done well, the upside is huge. Across medicine, AI has already been proven to be an asset in tasks like pattern recognition and interpretation in radiology, making faster and more accurate diagnoses with the hope of leading to better patient outcomes. Diagnostic pathology is heading down a similar path. Still, interpreting a radiologic study or making a cancer diagnosis from a pathology slide requires more than 25 distinct steps, Dr. Lazar points out, and AI implementation constitutes just 1 or 2 of those many steps. Its use is still limited to prediction. And While the opportunities for AI in medicine are enormous, so are the negative consequences of using AI irresponsibly. In medicine, if you get AI wrong and act on it, the consequences can be extreme for your patient. This is why the implementations today are relatively low risk and include extensive human oversight. It's quite limited today. And this is also the reason why it's important to keep humans in the loop for responsible risk governance. What is stressed across the DCRO Institute risk governance programs is that companies must innovate to grow, and innovation always entails risk, at the very least, the risk that what you are attempting to do could fail. Responsible use of risk is what drives and allows growth. Responsible deployment of risk can be a competitive advantage, said Dr. Lazar. I have certainly personally benefited from this DCRO Institute viewpoint. At academic medical centers like MD Anderson Cancer Center, we are intrigued and excited by what AI can do. We have long used the powerful tools of AI and machine learning for discovery in bioinformatics to explore complex problems such as how cancer develops and drugs work, said Dr. Lazar. This latest wave of generative AI with large language models is a remarkable advance as it democratizes AI for everyone to use instead of just research specialists. However, these tools entail definite risks that must be governed. At least two risks are most pressing. First, AI can be simultaneously wrong and convincing, so it's important to remain critical of what is generated and how it is used and applied. Second, the open nature of these tools means users must be exceedingly cautious about what data is exposed to these models. Issues of patient privacy and protection of proprietary data are paramount. These crown jewels must be protected. This represents risk on many levels, including economic, legal, reputational, and others. There are ways to manage these risks and allow these models to be implemented responsibly, but it takes extensive planning and active governance. Physicians shouldn't be concerned about being replaced by AI, but those who do not adopt and use AI responsibly and effectively will be outpaced. There is still so much in medicine that cannot currently be automated, he says. Understanding the risks and opportunities within AI, Dr. Lazar notes, may take experience and hands-on effort for all stakeholders involved. If you don't want to be scared, make the effort and learn to use AI yourself. Be proactive and hands-on, learn how to implement and use it, and see what it can and cannot do. The risks drive the rewards. When you're working in this area, you're creating the future today. You're on the forefront. And you know that the work you do is going to be beneficial to us all as human beings. Risk governance on the edge of emerging technologies. Professor Dr. Ingrid Vasiliou-Feltes is globally recognized as a thought leader in cyber ethics management for emerging and frontier technology-driven innovations. She's earned countless awards for her commitment to building innovative, sustainable deep tech business ecosystems and for her leadership, business, and entrepreneurship achievements. Her specialty is disruptive business transformation, creating sustainable business ecosystems. As a globalist and futurist, Dr. Vasiliou-Feltes is dedicated to driving energies across disparate technological domains and sharing her findings and progress with academic and business communities. She's been named a top influential CEO of 2023 and a top 100 Woman of the Future, and her commitment to responsible innovations earned her recognition as a top 10 global thought leader for privacy and quantum computing, alongside a top 25 recognition in digital twins technology. Emerging technologies like cognitive AI, generative AI, edge computing, spatial computing, digital twins, satellite internet, Web 3.0, the metaverse, and the industrial universe are on the cusp of impacting our lives in ways we may not fully understand. These innovations have the potential to transform how we interact with the world, bridging the gap between the digital and physical realms. Dr. Vasiliou-Feltes notes that these new technologies will reshape our lives and work environments. They will revolutionize education, work processes, and entertainment, blurring the lines between the digital and physical worlds, leading to more immersive and interconnected experiences. The metaverse, even in its infancy, shares an image of what's possible. Investors and enterprises are pouring money into metaverse funding rounds, buying into a vision where immersive experiences, realistic simulations, and multi-sensory experiences are possible. Even in such early days, the possibilities and promises delivered by the metaverse and how it converges with other emerging technologies are difficult to ignore. So how does one govern such unexplored, nascent technologies? Dr. Vasiliou Feltes notes that risk governance will include developing new business models, investment strategies, and revised risk governance techniques. When deploying frontier technologies, companies must prioritize risk assessment, mitigation, and contingency planning to ensure the successful deployment of these transformative technologies, said Dr. Vasiliou Feltes. By enhancing their digital literacy acumen and establishing a digital risk council, boards can proactively manage emerging or frontier technology risks and enhance their resilience in risk governance, she continued. In this new age of risk governance, both leadership and risk frameworks will need to be adaptable, agile, and purposeful. Organizations should expect challenges too, such as digital illiteracy, interoperability issues, and cyber resiliency gaps. But like any challenge, these also present opportunities for innovation and growth. For example, Dr. Vasiliou Feltes says, boards and companies can embrace these technologies by adopting a proactive stance, educating their leadership and employees, and designing new governance and business models. Versatility in management styles will be essential in navigating the complex landscape of emerging tech. Dr. Vasiliou Feltes cites some specific examples. Board digital literacy efforts have been deployed for blockchain technology deployments. This includes staying updated on the latest technological trends, their potential impact on the industry, and the novel risks they pose. Establishing a digital risk council at any organization can provide a dedicated platform for discussing and addressing deep tech risks. A council like this can include experts from various domains, including technology, cybersecurity, law, and ethics. Their role is to assess and monitor the risks associated with deep tech, guide the board, and ensure effective risk mitigation strategies are in place. She further notes that some forward-thinking boards have developed comprehensive digital risk governance frameworks that specifically address deep tech risks. These frameworks include novel risk assessment methodologies, risk recalibration, risk mitigation, and leveraging deep tech for risk monitoring and reporting mechanisms or contingency planning. Opportunities abound for the global business ecosystem as well. Looking ahead, frontier technologies like satellite internet, 6G, hydrogen fuel, quantum computing, and human-computer interfaces will demand even deeper adaptations from the global business ecosystem to meet the evolving demands of the digital age. Continuous learning and adaptability will be key to staying ahead in this rapidly changing landscape, said Dr. Vasiliou Feltes. Risk governance from Earth into space. Renee Wynn is NASA's former Chief Information Officer CIO. Altogether, she served the federal government for more than 30 years in the Environmental Protection Agency as acting CIO and at NASA, where she overhauled its cybersecurity programs, expanded its portfolio of IT services, and regularly interacted with government agencies, partners, and collaborators around the world, serving more than 60,000 customers on Earth and in space. Complex is only one way to describe it, Wynn notes with some wry humor. Reflecting on her time at NASA, she said, "Imagine being tasked with securing a mobile launch unit with more than 400,000 sensors on it. After launch, a satellite or flying asset must be secure in innumerable ways from innumerable attack vectors and vulnerabilities. Space is analogous to the pioneer frontiers, but perhaps to the extreme. It's the backdrop of movies, imagination, research, and study worldwide, across nearly every country and spanning all ages and audiences. While the adventurous aspect of space is a popular topic of discussion, what's less talked about are the challenges behind the scenes to ensure those missions can come to life safely. Not only are there assets on Earth and in space, thousands of assets. There is also the constant challenge of managing legacy systems, international stakeholders, and public perception. Opportunities in risk governance abound with every mission. We had to constantly grapple with how to create a posture where missions can happen. You can batten things down, but then you can't use IT. And on the other extreme, if you don't draw a line in the sand, national security and millions of dollars are at risk, said Wynne. Adding to the complex balance is the long planning cycles of any space mission. Programs take years to execute and plan. Changes in the 11th hour to security, infrastructure, or IT requirements could very likely go beyond policy and affect go or no-go launch status. Thankfully, my CISO and my team were brilliant, said Wynne. It was a constant balance, a constant weighing of risk. We had always to assess the mission, how IT was being used, how things were programmed, and make decisions in the best interests of NASA and the country. Wynne's work went beyond IT to intersect with environmental safety, sustainability, international relationships, and politics. She spoke to and influenced international partnerships built on decades of science. She has testified before Congress. She's lent her voice to the discussions on what to do about mounting space debris. Her risk landscape touched everything from cybersecurity, reputation, and ransomware to strategic risk and national security. IT was and is embedded in every single aspect of the organization. Without it, there is no mission. Wynne reflected on her career with the federal government and, in particular, with NASA. Space research has huge implications for humanity. Space operations and launches are the highest risk, but sometimes we get so used to seeing risky operations that we forget the risk associated every time we do that countdown. It's phenomenal to see so many launches be successful. Balancing urgent demands with long-term gains, risk governance in defense. Christopher Geiger runs Lockheed Martin's Enterprise Risk Management Program, integrated with internal audit. Lockheed Martin's mission is to help its customers stay ahead of ready, technically and operationally. We are a company made up of thousands of programs that adjust risk tolerance when it's appropriate, which means we'll accept more uncertainty in coordination with a customer, said Geiger. Our enterprise risk model rides above those portfolios of programs and focuses on what is material to the organization as a whole. Geiger highlighted that Lockheed Martin uses a far-sighted approach, as evidenced by its integration of sustainability governance with enterprise risk management governance, even though it's a 100-year-old company. Or perhaps it's a 100-year-old company because of that mindset. We see sustainability as an aspect of very long-term risk management, he notes. Part of Lockheed Martin's risk governance approach is to set organization-wide sustainability goals through a 5-year core issues assessment. Then, the key enterprise risks are updated at least annually. We find sustainability risks manifest over a longer period, but also take longer to mitigate. Wildfires are an example of an environmental risk that will likely increase over time. Rather than only focusing on traditional mitigations, Lockheed Martin created a plan to use their vast array of technologies to develop a related new product line. They leverage adjacent expertise in firefighting helicopters, AI, and 5G communications to meet the new frontier of demand. Geiger also emphasized that as part of good risk governance, Lockheed Martin operates from a fundamental focus on ethics in every aspect of the business. Ethics are foundational to our corporate governance of risk management. It's evident in everything we do. All programs live and breathe risk management. It underlies our collaborative customer relationships to drive responsible innovation. Risk governance requires discipline and the ability to step back and respect the process. For the foreseeable future, there will be more risks and more data, creating a risk universe littered with shiny objects. But we must stay focused and let the governance process develop a narrow field of risks we should expend resources on. One technique to keep focused is using AI to help with emerging risk assessment. Unstructured data from a multitude of sources comes together through natural language processing and sentiment analysis to allow Geiger and his colleagues to digest reports and comments quickly, spotting trends and issues among more information than any human could process. This ability to harness unstructured data, he says, gives enterprise risk management a tool to keep up with accelerating change. Everyone says there are more risks now, but I also see more opportunities, said Geiger. Innovation risk governance. For many board members, innovation may be viewed as an attempt at something new, novel, or never before done. But that's only part of the story. Everyday innovations range from minor efficiency improvements, better oversight processes, knowledge sharing, and significant life-changing innovations that those featured here work with every day. In frontier fields like space, AI, robotics, medical research, alternative energy, and others, leaders like Wynne, Lazar, Vassiliou Feltes, and Geiger have an opportunity to see innovations from ideation and early concepts to implementation or shelving. Navigating challenges and unknowns with speed and acuity is critical, requiring informed and fast decision-making. There is a process to innovation, just as there is a process to risk governance, the positive governance of risk-taking. We get there by learning to embrace risk through best-in-class risk knowledge and culture. Said David R. Koenig, QRD, who serves as President and Chief Executive Officer of the DCRO Institute. Our community has been enriched by the knowledge these four have shared with their peers and through our programs. We will always emphasize how to govern risk-taking well so that organizations can continue to embrace the future and all the new ways we will work together.